What's going on, guys? I'm Zach from the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon. And today we will be talking about some more Pokemon that I think have a pretty good chance at returning in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is part 2 of a 2-part video, so make sure you check out part 1. It's not like this one's gonna spoil part 1. You could probably watch this one and then part 1, but definitely make sure you check out part 1 so you get our full list. Now, without further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, so one of the most recent games released by the Pokemon Company was Pokemon Legends Arceus, and right before that we had Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Both of these games take place in the Sinnoh region, albeit different time periods, but both feature all of the Pokemon in Generation 4. So, with that said, I think that they're going to want to kind of capitalize on that. There's going to be a lot of people who just got to enjoy going through a playthrough with a Chimchar, a Piplup, a Turtwig, these Sinnoh staples, either for the first time or for the first time in a very long time. So I think they're going to want to capitalize on that. So I think that we will see a bunch of Sinnoh staples in Scarlet and Violet. So first we have Chimchar, we have Turtwig, we have Piplup, obviously their line's included, the Bidoof line, the Kricketot line, the Shinx line, the Gible line, Pachirisu, Arceus, Shaman, Manaphy, Fione, and Darkrai. So this would be 23 Pokemon that, again, I just think are a really big part of Sinnoh. When you say Sinnoh, you think these Pokemon, and because of the very recentness of Pokemon Legends Arceus and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I think they're going to want to capitalize on that Sinnoh Pokemon craze by having those Pokemon featured in these games. Now, to move into some Pokemon that are just incredibly likely, they're, beloved by GameFreak, and so it's very likely we'll see them here either because of their popularity or because they are loved by GameFreak. We have Evie, and of course, all of its evolutions. We have the Magikarp line, Magikarp and Gyarados, that is. We have Mewtwo and Mew. We have the Kanto starters, which is the Charmander line, the Squirtle line, and the Bulbasaur line. And we have the Ghastly line, because they are also beloved. I mean, they've gotten a Gigantamax form and a Mega Evolution, so they're pretty loved. And then Ditto. While Ditto isn't super popular, it is a Pokemon that is very likely to be in Scarlet and Violet, as I'm sure with these games kind of taking over the competitive bracket, breeding will be returning, and Ditto plays a huge role in breeding. Alright, so next we're going to look at the environments that we see in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer. While we did only get a glimpse at this game from the very first trailer, we did see quite a few environments. We saw a seemingly rainforest area with like some fog or humidity in it. We saw a swamp. We saw open plains. We saw rivers, caves, and a beach. And so with this, we can kind of take a guess at some of the Pokemon that we think could really fit in these environments. And the ones that I saw really working here were the Tempo line, the Wooper line, and the Krogunk line, obviously for that swampy area. The Duraludon for kind of the windmill area. I don't know why, but I just could really see Duraludon around there. I think it'd be cool if they kind of gave it like a windmill form, because that would work really well with Don Quixote and how he would fight windmills. I think that Duraludon would be the perfect Pokemon to kind of turn into a windmillmon. But we also have the Onix line, the Carbink line, which I guess is just Carbink, Sableye, the Geodude line. All of those would fit really well in that cave area that we saw Larvitar coming out of. We have the Aipom line, Castform. Those would fit really well in the rainforest area. Sandygast line, the Krabby line. Those would fit really well in the beach area. The Hippopotas line, Maractus, and the Cacnea line. All of these would fit really well in the desert area we saw with the Stonjourners. Now, very briefly, I did mention in that Sableye, and Sableye is a Pokemon that has always been paired with Mawile. I mentioned this in the last video, but they could always stop doing pairings. Like, we had Braviary and Legends Arceus, and there was no Mandibuzz in sight, and those two have always been paired in the same games. So they could always just not do that. But I'm going to stick with it for this video. Sableye is always paired with Mawile, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw Mawile in this list as well. Then our next list is a short one. It's just one Pokemon, and the reason for this one is because I really wanted it to be in here, and that is Dunsparce. So, no, I can't really think of a great thing to do with Dunsparce in this region, but I want it in the game, so I'm going to say Dunsparce. I also do genuinely think if they gave it a variant or an evolution or both, Elquilibre could be something that could really work for a Dunsparce evolution or form or both. But yeah, Dunsparce, I'm putting it in there. It's going to be in the game. Next, we have Pokemon that fit the region really well. So, not really the environments, but the basis of the region. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are set in a region that is clearly based off of the Iberian Peninsula, which contains Spain and Portugal. And these are just some Pokemon that I think fit really well in a Spain and Portugal-themed region. So there's Tauros and Miltank because the bull is the national animal of Spain. And I think if they did Tauros, they'd do Miltank as well. There's the Togepi line. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why. It really fits well. Togekiss kind of has some angel inspirations. And with Catholicism playing a huge role in Spanish and Portuguese history and being evident in their architecture, I could really see it. Also, the colorfulness of places like Barcelona really make me think of Togepi with all the little triangles, the colorful triangles on it. But yeah, we have Smeargle because tons of artists from Spain and Portugal. There's tons of artists. I mean, we've got Gaudi is from there, Picasso. You gotta do Smeargle, I think. We have the Rockruff line because of Iberian wolves being a thing. We have the Weedle line because, bees, they live in Spain. We have the Numel line because while camels are not native to Spain, they are native to Morocco, which is very close to Spain and has a lot of cultural mesh in Spain, I guess you could say. Also, any of my Spaniards, feel free to correct me in the comments below, but I believe I've been told that camel is a dish that is eaten in Spain, so, it could reference that as well. We have, because of the Mediterranean Sea, some Pokemon would be a really good fit, like the Carvana line or the Whalmer line, the Staryu line, Pincurchin, the Inkay line, the Horsey line, the Seal line, Lapras, the Shelter line, the Finneon line, the Chinchou line, the Corsola line, which I think would include Corsola, because even though it would be Jotoni and Corsola, I imagine that the home update would allow you to transfer in a Galarian Corsola and evolve it. The Frillish line, the Tentacle line, and the Clobopus line. Then we also have a few others. We have the Gligar line and the Noibat line, just because there are a lot of bats in the Iberian Peninsula. Execute and Executor, I think those would fit really well. Palms, Tropical, it does really well there. Golett line, just because of the Judaism roots of Golett and Golurk, and of course the Judaism roots in Spain. There's a lot of history of Jews living in Spain and Portugal. We have the Impidimp line because, again, Catholicism, fairy tales, all that stuff. Spain and Portugal have a ton of that. We have Phalanx because the Roman Empire was once in Spain and Portugal. We have the Hatenna line, again, fairy tales. The Honedge line because medieval. And Spain, of course, big player in the medieval ages, knights, all that. We have Girafarig because, fun fact, they believe that ancient giraffes actually did live in Spain. We have the Lotad line because of their Mexico and Central America inspired roots, which obviously have ties to Spain, as that's where they get their native language, Spanish. It's from Spain. Fun fact for you. We have the Farfetch line just because, honestly, I think that Sirfetch should be in these games. I know that he wouldn't be in the Dex per se, but like transfer him from home, I think he'd fit really well. We have the Arrokuda line. We have the Snom line just for that Pyrenees mountain section. We have the Spinarak line. We have Halucha, again, because of Central America ties, and Central America then ties into Spain. We have the Swinub line, the Torkoal line, which is just Torkoal, Larvesta line, Fletchling line, Sizzlipede line, the Venipede line, and Heracross, Pinsir, the Ponyta line, and the Mudbray line. Now for our last set, I think that we'll have some Galar Pokemon that are kind of staples to the Galar region. Just because, since it was done last, I think they'd want to kind of carry some of that over. They've had a history of doing this in the past, like the Alola starters and a bunch of Alolan Pokemon were actually in the Galar region, because Galar came right after Alola. I think they are going to want to carry some of those over, because those are fresh Pokemon in our head, and some of those are a fresh favorite to the franchise. So we have the Rookidee line, the Wooloo line, Yamper line, Nickit line, the fossils, which is Dracovish, Arctovish, Arctozolt, and Dracozolt. We have Cubfu, Urshifu, Calyrex, Glastrier, Spectrier, Eternatus, Zacian, Zamazenta, the Dreepy line, and just for fun, we're throwing in Morpeko as well. So in total, when you combine this list with my list from the last video, that makes a total of 357 returning Pokemon. In comparison, Sword and Shield had 355 returning Pokemon. It was 320 in the base game, but there were other Pokemon coded in that were then added in later in Home, like the Alolan starters, Blastoise and Venusaur, Solgaleo and Lunala, and a few others. So I think that we will see something similar here. While all these Pokemon may not be in the Dex, they will likely be coded in and thus available when home compatibility comes out for Scarlet and Violet. So let me know what you think of this list, and let me know in the comments below what some Pokemon are that you just are really hoping will be in. I'd love to hear it. I love hearing who everybody's favorite is, or who everybody's really banking on being in here. My answer would be Greninja. I mentioned in the last video I do think he'll be in there, but I'm really hoping that will be the case. I miss Greninja so much. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. We do talk about all things Pokemon here, and that of course includes Scarlet and Violet stuff. Until next time, I will see all of you later.